I actually consider it a good thing when you lose a game via a mistake, because especially when learning a new format, because you're going to make mistakes. Like, beating yourself up about making mistakes is not really helpful. Recognizing why you lost is, and losing a game because of a mistake, not because you didn't top deck right or you got unlucky or whatever, means that you can improve. So as I'm getting ready to play in a tournament that's a format that I'm not very experienced in, recognizing something like that is huge, because I will eventually play another Modern game against a burn deck. Like, that's just going to happen as you play Modern, right? That's the thing you're going to do. And we will learn to have a good bit more respect for the Eidolon. Like, I think either line, killing it or not attacking, was reasonable. Basically, anything other than exactly what I did was a good call. This hand looks reasonable to me. I don't like it as much being on the draw, but we've got Inquisition into Bolt, tap land, and Courser can get us some value. We'll see what we're up against. If it's like Infect, we probably have to go a little faster. Meh. That Thoughtseize, though, means we're probably expecting the Inquisition here. Oh, Chandra's what you're scared of. That's interesting. That's interesting. All right. Well, let's see what you're doing over there. What have you got? Lingering Souls and Air? All right. I mean, I don't like giving you a Lingering Souls next turn, but that was an interesting keep. I guess we're up against some sort of classic black-white tokens deck. I tried to make that work and didn't care for it much, honestly. So they played their planes. Do I want to go Bob or tap land? I believe on this board state we would like to play Bob. It lets me 2-for-1 myself against Lingering Souls tokens and not particularly care, because we're just going to be drawing so many cards. I mean, I suppose the downside is now I kind of have to bolt one of these guys. Meh. Yeah, I'm going to have to grind through Souls tokens. I don't like it. I will trade Bob for one if they'd like to trade Bob for one, because we can get it back with the Colligan's Command, and I can bolt one. We can then Colligan's Command get back Bob, Abrupt Decay one. We can eventually grind through these. Like, Knight of Souls Betrayal is pretty good for this. So many souls. Do you have to let it linger? I guess we could fetch. I don't have a forest to fetch, but we could get the Courser, which will negate some of that, and bolt one, and it just lets us use all of our mana this turn. The other option is Decay Command and bolt, but I think we need something that can deal some damage. So I've got to get a green source. It may as well be green-black. Oh, I do have a forest. What you talking about, Willis? Just get your dude. The games I played when I was playing black-white tokens were basically, can you draw multiple copies of Lingering Souls? If yes, you can win a game. If no, you can't. And we're seeing that played out a bit here. And it looks like I'm probably just spewing removal on these tokens, but they will kill you if you don't respect them. Bitter Blossom we don't quite care about right now. Inquisition I don't care about at all. Like, I'm pretty happy to Abrupt Decay the Bitter Blossom. That saves us a good bit of issues. And then we'll keep up Colligan's Command and probably use it. Yeah, I'm going to pop this, so let's just get it over with. All right. Again, I respect the tokens. We will grind through them. Target creature from graveyard to hand. 2 damage to target creature or player. So get back Bob. Bolt of Souls. We may not be playing Bob. We may be just attacking with the Ravine. Because trading 4 for 5 when we've got some life gain is probably pretty good. I guess the downside is they can always just activate the vault. God, or just make a million more tokens. That is so many tokens. How do you feel now? I mean, the only downside is we're dead on board, but are we? Are we? Are we? We're dead to a top deck Zealous Persecution, but that's 9, we're at 10, and there's a Maelstrom Pulse coming. That means we're doing stone nothing. We're sitting, it's your turn, you can hit me, you can do your thing. I'll go to 1. You can make this game take a lot longer if you activate your vault. But it is not over yet. Bloop! They also riggedy wreck me with like a Path to Exile on one of their own dudes. We really can't play Bob right now, which sucks. I'd like to, but... Oh, God. So many Bobs. Bob, why you do this? Terminate's not bad. It's just not really the droid I'm looking for. I normally am really happy to draw Bob, but this is not the scenario we needed in. I was hoping we'd hit a couple lands and it would be great. But that's not what happened. I think they have a path and they're trying to decide which they care about. Like, I think we'd be happy with land Goyf, because that would kill them pretty quickly. With the enchantment in the graveyard, sorceries. There's no creature in the yard, but there is a planeswalker. Nope, just on nothing. Alright. That's going to need a land for us to stop it, but we hit one. So if I attack here, they're going to get a token that can't attack me back. And then I can terminate it and swing in if I hit an untapped land. They did have the path. Interesting. Okay. We've used all of our basics, but I do want the shuffle because I think something like a Goyf is going to be really good for us. What just happened? Oh, I still have a ravine. They ate my terminate. They're at 6. We gain a life. They have to chump if I attack with this. I'm attacking for 4, 5, 6, and they're at 6. They do. Can they activate this? They can. So they can take out my courser or my ravine. I really wanted that terminate. That was going to be so good. So good. Like, the problem is we have to grind through this with everything we have. We do have Lily next turn. So if I play the Goyf this turn, actually I may have to just run out all these Bobs. The problem is I know that running out of Bob now is going to kill me because I can see the top card. So if I attack here, they block and lifelink and take out my ravine and go to 5. And then we're in the exact same situation next turn, except we can slam Lily. Yeah, I think I like that. If I had another green, we wouldn't have to go this route. And I can't let them sit there. I guess they're going to 4 from the damage from this, but Vault of the Archangel doing the Lord's work. But I've got to make them chump with the tokens. Otherwise, they'll kill me with them. And again, if they're on air, I can hit for 2 here, and then they die to the Bitter Blossom. All right, land is always good. So do you have a thing? All right, I see what you did there. You do get another turn. We could also resolve a Bob this turn, but I don't know that it particularly matters. All right. So I have played with this deck. I ran 2 leagues with it. And again, the only way I found that it could win was if you hit multiple copy. You needed turn 2 Bitter Blossom, and you needed to land multiple Lingering Souls. And we've got some cards that are obviously very good against it. Liliana is not one of them. We don't want her. Thoughtseize is okay. It's not great. But like Damnation, Engineered Explosives, Anger, these are very good. Huntmaster's something. Cletus really doesn't do what we want here. He's mostly a 3/4 life link, which is kind of bad. Like, even the Inquisitions aren't great. Knight of Souls Betrayal can be a game winner. So I think these are cards I'm interested in. The downside of this is they're typically playing Intangible Virtue 2, at least the list I was running did. So like, this is about 2 cards too heavy. Ooze is fine for eating them. The Courser's fine. The Life matters, grinding them out matters. The Anger of the Gods matters. I may trim a Bob, and I may trim a Dreadbore. Well, they're probably playing something like Lilianas of their own, or Sorens, or a Gideon. I had a Gideon, 2 Lilies, and a Soren in my build. The Khan Soren. Call Against Command's pretty bad too. Like, I really want another Maelstrom Pulse. That's what I want, but I don't have one. I can trim here. Like, Dreadbore is sad if you're hitting that, but if you're hitting a Planeswalker or a Hero of Bladehold, which I've seen some lists play, it can be pretty good. This is bad if they have Thoughtseize. It's really bad if they have Thoughtseize. If they don't and I can land Bob, we can do something. I'll try it, but this one's shaky. It's like, I don't want to see them Thoughtseize me. If they do that, we're almost like snap concede. Well, there you go. We did bring in some cards that can really matter against them. That's just not one of them. I'm going to fetch because I'd like to draw less lands. All right, this is the start they need to beat me. This is what not doing well looks like. Goyf can pressure it enough, and the Ooze is actually not a bad draw because like they're quite likely to Souls here. That's really what I'd like to see here is them cast a Lingering Souls. That would be fantastic. Fantastic, he says. Okay, I mean, that matters and it sucks, but it's not the end of the world. I, again, would really rather they have played a Lingering Souls, but c'est la vie. We have a 1-2. The most expensive 1-2 in the game of Magic. Nom, 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 nom. And it likes to eat little deer. Oh wow. I'm just like, no, dog. I ain't dealing with a Goyf. Is there a reason to have this up? No, but there's kind of not a reason not to. I can fetch a Blood Crypt with this if I need to. Like if I have to bolt something. I can't fetch an Overgrown Tomb and exile something, but they don't know that. Like they don't know how many Overgrown Tombs I'm playing in my list. And I'm not above eating a Goyf just to have a 3/3 that can attack next turn. Like I was considering running a Nile Spellbomb against them. It does make my Goyfs worse, but would I rather bolt face or just discard it? That's a pretty easy consideration, actually. The question is face or rogue, and I think we're going to go face here. So we can just make their duress do nothing, I guess. Like I've got a lot of cards that interact favorably with the rogues. I did say this hand was weak to them pulling our Bob. That was an interesting decision. I guess they're better off playing it than not. And I really can't attack here unless I want to trade this for those, and I don't. Yeah, we're kind of in a bad spot here. We're going to need Anger of the Gods. And even that doesn't quite get us out of this. It starts, but it ain't gonna finish. All right, Goyf, we need some life. Feed us. Another Goyf is okay. It's not exactly great. Now that they've got the vault running. Yeah, the lines that get us out of this start with Anger of the Gods. All right. That'll do, pig. That'll do. That is 10. Yeah, I think trying to trade 1-for-1 with them is just not where I want to be. Like, bolts are fine as potential planeswalker removals, but I'm not digging these terminates right now. They're making me sad. They're making me really, really sad. I think I'd rather just have duress. And I think I want my other Bob. It feels weird to play Bob in a deck that's running Knight of Souls Betrayal, right? Like, that's the reason why I want to shave one. Yes, Dutch. We don't have any cats to sideboard in, or I would. Oh, I think I like this. There's still a question about the bolts. Like, the decays hitting Bitter Blossom are good. The Goyfs being threats are good. I still like the oozes. I could trim and ooze. Like, take out an ooze for a Bob so that I can find the things that really matter. Yeah, I think on the play that's where I want to be. Ooze is fine, but it's a lot of Grizzly Bear. I need to have a discard spell. Alright, I have a discard spell. I can go discard spell into Goyf, and we've got some value cards. So I will try this. What have you got going? If it's Bitter Blossom and we can snag it, we're happy. It's Duress and Brutality. Brutality will take out my Goyf, but then I can resolve the ooze, eat their souls, and be kind of fine. I mean, they can discard their Lingering Souls to make me discard an instant or sorcery, which is going to be Damnation, but I can't cast it anyway. I guess if they're going to duress me, they're going to get this too, right? Like, maybe just take the Brutality, let them duress me and see what's up, and then resolve a Goyf and start beating. Alright, I can get behind that. So you can have your duress, you're going to hit my Damnation. Which sucks, but all we're doing is swapping sorceries to make the Goyf decent sized. They did keep a reasonable hand, oddly enough. This has to get Stomping Ground to be able to cast the most of our spells. And I don't think there's any point in Inquisitioning until they've drawn a few more cards. Anger's fine. We'll be glad that we have this in our hand eventually. It just doesn't do anything right now. Alright. That sucks. I imagine they take the Courser. Unless they've got some, if they've drawn something good, in which case they take the Inquisition. But like, both of these cards are really good for us. If they take the Courser, the Goyf's just a house. Like, we get a 4/5 Goyf if the Courser beats it. So I guess you do that if you have Path right now. Because you kind of got to answer it, right? All All right, so they have 2 cards, which are Plains and Lingering Souls, and we have a giant Goyf. Like, if I Inquisition the Lingering Souls, at least they can't get 4 tokens off of it. And like anything they draw off the top, I'm not going to be able to interact with. So I know we're not getting value here. Oh, they discarded the Lingering Souls of that. Derp, 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 derp. Okay. I did not notice that. I think Overgrown Tomb lets me cast everything but another Anger. But I should probably see what I draw before I decide what I want to get. Swamp doesn't do much for me. If I had another Stomping Ground, I could get that now. All right, we're going to need a sideboard card here, Bubba. Can you help me? No. Well, at least we can get some fetching going. So I can't really attack here. I guess I can for 1 turn. With the idea that maybe they're blocking. But we're going to need our sideboard card now. Because if they just start activating this and swinging, I've got to hold back. All right, let's get our Overgrown Tomb and our Blood Crypt. Another Goyf starts to be reasonable. We're still very dead to like a Sorin here. I held the land just in case they draw a discard spell, so they'll fire it off. So that makes me feel smart. I'm kind of sad losing to this deck because this is the deck I would want to be playing if I thought it was viable. I don't actually think it is. But they may have a better build than I did. They're putting themselves dead to a Bolt unless they have something. Hello, Bolt. All right, I guess we go for it. So they need to have specifically Path, and they win if their last card is Path. Because if they block, they take 4 and gain 2, which means they take 2. But if they don't have Path, I win. If they do, they win. So it comes down to, do you have that card that you have? Well, I mean, I put the Lightning Bolt in the deck to draw it. That's why you put them in your deck. So that was a narrow victory there. With this, we've basically, at 3 and 2, when you're playing constructed events, you get your play points back for the entry, and you get a treasure chest. You can sell the treasure chests, but, you know, honestly, they're supposed to be fun. You're supposed to get to open them. Let's open it. You don't often hit anything good. Like here, we got an Eidolon of Blossoms, a Silver Strike, and an Alms of the Vein. Not really super value cards, but more than that, we got to play with this Jund deck, get some practice in with it, learn some valuable things about the burn matchup. I think I could have easily 4-1'd if I had played correctly with the interactions with the Eidolon of Great Revels, and I also think I had a shot at game 1 if I didn't take so much damage from my lands, which I think just managing, like, being conservative with your lands is probably a big part of learning how to play Jund. Anyway, I appreciate you guys and gals tuning in. Come check out the stream. We'll be doing a lot of limited, as well as some Jund. And let me know in the comments if you enjoyed seeing some constructed here, and maybe we'll do that again one day. But thanks for tuning in, folks. We will see you next week here on SeemsGoodMagic.com.